when it comes to peer pressure, considering I'm one person that's just come out of university and quite fresh in terms of the educational system here, it can be quite difficult, and it's naturally going to happen. You are going to be pressured into things that perhaps you know that aren't right and you know that you shouldn't be doing. And I think it's God's word that's going to keep you going, that's going to steer you in the right direction. And admittedly, in life, at times you are going to fall off, and these things happen. But so long as you're aware that this has happened and you're able to kind of get back onto the path you're supposed to be leading, and again, stay away from temptation. It's about focusing on the Word of God, and that's literally where your focus is meant to be. It's just on God and nothing else, and the noise around it, you won't even hear it. Essentially, I think that's what I can say about that.
There's nothing wrong with peer pressure, like if we look at it in terms of what it can do to make us better. So there's some peer pressure that can be wrong, that it can make you feel uncomfortable, or you push to do something, or you push to be someone. But there's positive peer pressure as well, where you can be around young people who want to see the good inside you because they have your back, literally have your back. They don't want to see you, like, obviously make a bad choice. They want to make you see good choices. So there's different types of peer pressure we can have. A lot of it gets perceived on being negative because a lot of things that we see young people when they get pushed into drugs or life crime or anything, even dropping out of school without qualifications or not even getting on with their folks at home. And that can be like other people say, well, you shouldn't be listening to your parents, you shouldn't be doing that. Because a lot of that goes on. The flip side of that is, if someone's around you, and even if they're older than you, or you feel as though if they're younger than you, but they got something good to say about you, take that on board if it makes you feel good, or makes that you can input that in your life. Because sometimes people say things to us which might seem a bit, well, is that for me? And you might dismiss it. But sometimes if it's good, I would say embrace it.
To agree with what Walter's saying. You've got different kinds of peer pressure. You've got peer pressure that can be good, and you've got peer pressure that can be bad. I remember a time when I was about 15 years old. I think just the culture of when I was young, it was about clothes, trainers, and I remember there was a girl that I liked. She was fire. She looked good. She had that cocoa butter skin, and I was like, yeah, I was speaking in tongues and everything. And I just simply wanted to impress this girl, and a lot of my friends who I was with, they knew that. They was like, you know what, get a car. And I was like, but I don't have no money. It was like, it don't matter, just get a car. And I was like, but I couldn't even drive. It was like, it don't matter, just get a car. And I was like, what about insurance? Like, it don't matter, just get the car. And you have all these pressures. So I ended up stealing, robbing, getting a car, couldn't drive, couldn't put insurance, just to impress a girl. And I think we have the same with a lot of our youth nowadays. They have Instagram, they have Snapchat, and you have all these pressures from different things that kind of allure our young people. And I would say be very mindful of the peer pressure that is going to cause your destiny to go in one direction. Be very mindful if something's going to lead you in a way that when actually you just don't want to go. God's word is very powerful, and that should be your mirror, that should be your image of how to lead your life without having influences that can deter your life in the wrong direction.
I also want to just add on to that. I think identity plays a really big important part, and as the pastor was preaching earlier, saying about, you have to know who you are and know what you stand for. It's like that saying that says, if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything, and it's easier to get peer pressured if you don't have standards within your life. It's easier to be influenced with things. So I would say, get to know yourself, get to know what you like, why you like it, what you don't like, and just spend more time in God's presence figuring out what's right and what's wrong. And the more you understand yourself and the more you understand who you are and what you stand for, and the more you understand your standards and why you have them, the easier it would be to not be pressured into worldly things.
Raja and the Apostle. If someone's actively involved in knife crime right now, or gun crime, what's your advice? Like, what's the first step that you take?
Okay. I think there's been an amnesty like this last few weeks, or last week as well, where a lot of people have handed in like the guns and knives, people giving them in. I would say that one of the things I was saying to my church only last week, I was saying that, young people, when I'm talking about snitching and I'm talking about telling the authorities, that's different to what this is about. This is about handing in something that you've got on you. If it hasn't been used and you've got it in you, there's ways that young people can hand in a knife and gun. I would say the church is a good place for where they can bring the knife and the gun in, and they can give it, and the church can forward it to the authorities. The other thing is, if we got young people in the church, like, this is me being honest with you guys, because I was in church, so-called a churchgoer, and I was still involved in activity. If we're in church and we are involved in stuff, and we're doing things that we know is wrong, because we do know what's right and wrong, I would say I'm a believer that the pastors and ministers have the relationship with young people in here. If you feel as though you haven't got that relationship, because this happens in some churches, let's be honest, some people don't feel comfortable talking to the ministers and they would rather talk to somebody else. I would say talk to somebody you're comfortable with, because somebody there will help you. The thing is like that when the police are involved and you have done a crime, this is me talking about even people I know in my family who are involved in stuff. The police will always take it as further as they can. So if someone's caught with a knife, they're going to go all the way. If someone's caught with a gun, they're going to go all the way. Why? Because they're going to follow the law and the procedures and the policies. But if we're in church and we're comfortable here and we want to move on, start here. If the church doesn't know, this is just us offering advice to you ministers and everybody else, we can help facilitate.
Your question was like, what do you do if you got a friend that's involved in?
If you're actively involved in knife crime at the moment.
If their friend is actively involved.
If you yourself, somebody here, is actively involved in knife crime, what should they do?
Okay.
What's the first step they take?
First of all, look at the reason why you got involved. A lot of, I think for myself and a lot of the guys back in the days who I used to hang around with, we didn't just decide that we wanted to get involved in crime, or we wanted to just pick up the knife because it was cool. Something pushed us in that direction, and I think with the majority of the youth, something would have pushed you there. For me, it was the fact that I didn't have my father in my life, and because I got expelled from school. So have a look at the reasons why you got to that place, and also does that individual want to stay in that place as well? For me, I got to a place where it was either I was going to die in the streets, die in prison, or I'm going to turn my life around somehow. And I had to make a choice of what I wanted. I'd say take that time to think about what choice you want in your life, where to put it up. You've got a choice and you've got a decision. So think about what's pushed you there, and do you want to stay in that place? And what do you want for your life? It's so important that we look at these things, because we have so many people that tell us negative things about ourselves, but we've got to allow positive people and also the Word of God to be the loudest voice that speaks in our ear. When we have people who are ministers, who are proper, true, good friends, that are the loudest voice, that will say, listen, I see you as a prime minister, I see you as a lawyer, I see you as a doctor, that are encouraging you and what they see in your life, then you can, and with God's word, you can align with that. I just want to touch on this about the snitching thing. We've got that terminology so twisted, right, about snitching. If you are living a lifestyle that's unrolled, involved in gangs and streets, the terminology, if you go and do something, then you're a snitch. If you are someone who's kind of in the general public, right, you can't be a snitch because you're not involved in that lifestyle. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, okay then, for us, back in the days, I can't say that he's an informer or he's a snitch because he told the police something. He's not involved in that lifestyle. He's not involved in the lifestyle of street. He's not involved in the lifestyle of gangs. He's just your average Joe, general public. So it doesn't matter if he calls the police. But if he's a gang member now, if he's involved in street life, and then he goes and tells the police, then he's snitching. So there's a difference. Don't get so caught up in that about, you know what, I don't want to be a snitch here because this incident happened or that incident didn't happen. If you're living a lifestyle, then be careful, because then you'll be labeled as that. But if you're not living that lifestyle, and this is what I say, don't walk a line where people can't deter whether you're unrolled or you're just your average Joe public. Walk a life so people know who you are.
I want to just say to you that this is information that you need to know, because this is what is going on there. In FE now, we work with the police, and this is like regular. Like, so my role now, working in the job I do, I work with the police. If any young people in our college is involved in crime, we get all the pictures, they email them to us, we identify young people. The education system can no longer camouflage young people who are involved in gangs or carry. So young people, I just want to say, no, you guys are, just so you know, every education establishment will give you a deed. Like, when we get young people to the door, we know everything about them. We know where they live, who mum is, mobile, no phone numbers. We know everything of everybody. As soon as the police contact, like incident in Dale, when there was a stabbing in Dale, all of us in our colleges, we got emails of people's images. So we would just identify, yeah, I know him, I know her, I know him, I know her. Young people don't know this. They think someone caught him in town. They don't. Education has now been told by the police that they have to work with them. So that from the time you're in primary school, and I'm talking about school that's near me, Rookery Road, that area, schools there, the primary schools, Hollyhead schools, so every school now has to work with the police. So we can no longer let young people come into college or into school and be involved in crime, because it doesn't work that way no more. This came around when we had the PREVENT program about radicalization and grooming. So this came around that time where they said, okay, we can't have young people joining sort of like, Islamic groups and being joining the groups and terrorism, etc. And the same thing came about joining gangs and stuff. So they said, okay, for that PREVENT program, we got stretched out. So they're saying any activity in your colleges, you have to inform us. That's just information for you, because I want you to know that. I don't want you to go to college and think, or schools, and think everything's okay, no one's going to say nothing, mom's not going to find out, dad's not going to know. Because what the police have told us, they've said to us, if you give us a name, and this is like I said, this isn't snitching, this is because we're professionals, and this is what we do. So we are told that we've got a young person in our college who's involved in crime. They just give us a name, they give us an image, and we just forward the details, and nobody knows any better. And that young person's house might get raided, might have armed police coming in the morning, he might be arrested outside, it might be a stop and search, because the police have said to us already that they have the powers to stop and search. So this is information we need to share with you guys. You guys need to know this. because this is what's happening on our streets.
And that's, again, a question for everybody here. We're talking about what the police are doing, that's external stuff, what the college is doing, that's external, but what about us at home as family members? What should we be doing as parents, as siblings, as uncles? What should we be doing for us, really? That question goes to all of us, essentially. Yeah, what do you guys think we should be doing?
Okay, so with the stop and search, I don't think the police should be the only stopping and searching. I think the parents should be searching the old children. I don't think parents should be saying, you know what, my son's been in town, he got stopped for a life, and I didn't know he'd done this. I think it's good for the parents and the young people to have that relationship where it's very open and it's liquid. It's not like, you can't touch my stuff, you can't look at my phone, you can't see who I'm talking to. Because that's the young people that we've created nowadays. We've got them saying, you know what, it's my phone though, what, you looking at my phone? So they've got this, it's mine. So we're trying to take away that. But I want to just say to mums and dads, grandparents, brothers and sisters, you know, if our young people, if they're hanging about with the wrong people, if our sisters are going out with boys who are perceived to be gangbangers and they're involved, we have the right to tell mom, say, mom, you know what, I think she's going out with a boy, he's involved in gangs, or vice versa, because I don't think that as being siblings, we're being responsible. At the same time, I think parents, I've told my family something about their son. I said, check his trainers, because in the trainers is where they put the knives, when in the bedroom. Check his trainer, because that's where they put the drugs, and family had did it. So I want us to have that back. I don't want him to say, you know what, the son saying to dad, you can't come into my room. Mom, don't come into my room, it's my space. It's a house. Yeah, hope that's good.
I think one of the key dynamics that has to change is that parents need to be parents again.
Yes.
I think the dynamics have changed where mums are bedrooms with their daughters and probably the dad's not there, so you're having a mum raising the whole brother and sister, but it's not a mother and daughter relationship, it's not a mother and son relationship. It's just like, okay, in my bedroom, you know what I mean? And they're sitting down and they're having talks like yo, in my bedroom. No, there has to be that barrier and that aspect that, listen, I'm the man, right? Go and sit down and go and read your books. At the end of the day, I think we have to get back to that, because I think what's happened is because the government has said, right, you know what, you can't beat your children. We've backed off as parents, because my mum used to bust my bottom when I needed it. My grandma used to bust my bottom when I needed it. But I think what's happened now is that the way how society is, we're giving our children £50, £100 to go buy a pair of night trainers, but they don't understand the value of what we've done to work for it to get those things. So it's just you've got this relationship where it's just friendship and not actual parents.
So what can we do as parents to let them understand that we still have rights over them at the age of 16?
So I think one of the things that I look at, like when we get young people, like, you know, the ones we work with, like they're 16, and in the law, in the country's law, someone's not 18, they're not an adult. Yeah? Am I right?
Tell them that, they're not listening.
Yeah. So what's the age in this country to be an adult?
18.
Okay.
In Jamaica, we're 18 that we're adults. In America, it's 18.
Yeah.
Over here, they give them right at 16.
16.
So what's happened is that some of the boundaries are quite blurred, or they're not quite clear. And the reason behind it is the government are at fault in some places because they have given young people rights over their parents in areas that their parents should still be in control. For example, a lot of young people that I work with, they come and say to me, right, that I'm a man, right? I'm not taking away that they're not. And because it's the age where they feel as though they need to establish the manhood. I'm talking about males because a lot of the work I do is mainly males, I'm with females. Then I got thinking about this, where had this mentality come? So it starts with the issues that I need to establish who I am. But it starts at the home where, like, you got the card, the NI card now, and you feel as though you can now have the authority to speak to somebody. The mother gets challenged all the time. How many mums get challenged here by the kids? Yeah. So mums get challenged all the time. So they're the first ones, right, who get challenged before people on the street. Because mum's the one who's bringing the authority. Mum is saying this can't be done, but you're telling her different. So mum's already on like the challenging part. I would just say, if we as the church, like I said, we're the church, not an organisation, as we as a church, we still, as parents, have the responsibility for our children.
Yes.
I can't change every young person in my establishment at work. I wish I could do, but I can't. I can't even tell them I'm a Christian, because both people won't have it, although they don't minister. But what I want to do is, if we can, just work with our young people and let us as moms and parents and grandparents be able to communicate with you. I don't think why it's wrong if mom asks you, who was you talking to? Is anybody offended if the mom asks them?
Let's keep it, you know what, let's keep it real. Right. I think we have to get back to a place here, where we raise our children slowly. We're raising our children too fast and too quick. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing girls talking to their mothers, they like them and them a size. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's madness. If I was out on the road, yeah, I'd keep them down. I have to remember that I'm saved, I'm different. I'm seeing young men right on the street that one other day, okay, let me give you an example. I saw some, they're probably about 12, 13 years old. They wanted to kick down an old black man because he was looking on him too hard. Now, that's not funny, because that's someone's dad, that's someone's granddad. And we've raised our children way too quickly. So we have to get back to a place where we understand that we as the parents, regardless of what the government says, this is my house, you don't pay bills, why? You don't contribute to electric, you don't contribute to rent, you don't contribute to mortgage, right? So listen, I am the mom in this house, right? And we're gonna sit down and talk, and this is guidelines and this is rules. Stop raising our youth then too quick. We're giving them phones at the age of 7 and 8 and 9. We're making our young girls wear a bag of makeup. We're making them wear heels, right? But yet they can't even wash themselves properly.
I tell you.
Right, we're raising and it's fine, we're raising our kids too quickly.
We, the church, again, it's us, not an organisation. We have the same rights. We're the ones who should be doing the campaign. We're the ones who should be saying, you know what, enough. You won't be selling those knives. I haven't seen that shop. I will tell that man in the shop, he is wrong. But I would say to you, right, that I don't want to blame people. I want us to take the blame and do something with it. And say, you know what, we need to, as a church, because I'm willing to work with you guys, obviously, with this campaign against knife crime, not only putting on KFC boxes and saying, you know, knife crime is wrong. I want us to be the church where we know that our young people, if they were involved, can come in and drop the knife off, can drop the gun off, and they know that it's going to be safe and we're going to look after it. And then we're the ones who go to these shops and let them know that they are not allowed to sell it. Because you know what? How dare they sell knives to young people? But we clearly know a knife so long and so thick isn't there to cut bread or to make a sandwich. It's there to take life. But I just want to put that, before we come to the end, I know that we're going to push the time. I want to say that a lot of the young people that we have worked with have had the knife in the kitchen. It's been from Mum's kitchen. They've just gone into the drawer and taken the knife out. Mums, make sure you know what knives you got in your kitchen. Make sure you know when one knife isn't there. I'm not saying your son or your daughter's involved, but just have a mental calculation.
Because their purpose and their destinies are being aborted even before they've had a chance to fulfill that. So we have to do not just the natural, but we have to do the spiritual as well. We have to pray for our young men, and if we can, before this closes out, I really would like us to pray for these young men over here, because the enemy wants to kill them. The enemy wants to destroy. He says he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and that's what's happening.